So today is the time to repaint everything for the good old girl. Since we got the new headlights, I got color match paint, so we're going to be redoing the emblems, side and front. We're doing this whole grill white. So you can see it had a little damage, just from all the road hazards I've been through. I've literally been everywhere. So today we're painting grill, front badge, rear badge, side badge, other badge. And I want to paint all these little plastics. My truck's filthy right now. But so pretty much what we're going to do, well, first I got to pull off everything. And then we got to start stripping down everything and start prepping. So that's what I'm going to start doing now. So besides redoing all the other emblems though, I got all brand new ones. And we got bigger springs in the front, which I'm going to paint as well. So we can replace that cheap puck. And it'll be bigger in the front. We also have an adjustable track bar, but I'm not painting that because I could care less if that's painted. But yeah, and we're waiting for one more part in the mail. It should be here any moment now. So now we're just going to start by pulling off the grill and stripping down the grill and then the inside plastics. So we got the first piece off of the handle. I'm really just doing these little pieces right here. See, that just pops. Which way? I think it was that way actually. Yeah. So that pops right off. Then we're going to do these little pieces. I'm probably going to leave those. Then like the AC vents. And then we are waiting for the Retro Customs iPad dash. So that's what's getting painted in the middle. But pretty much I'm just doing like the handles. Just some small little accents just to make it look better. Considering I've been rubbing these up with my legs. You can see all these little scratches. So yeah, it's a little bit of a pain, but I'm getting it done. So as I just took off the last piece, actually not the last piece, well, I was trying to take out the air vent in the front of the dash. I saw the mailman drive by and the Retro Customs iPad dash just came in. 1 day shipping. Comes with a nice new charger and everything. That's pretty cool. Can't wait to put this on. Gotta paint it first though. Painting and then putting it in. So that'd be a cool touch. Still gotta go get an iPad though. So we've gotten pretty good. Just roughed these up pretty nicely. Came out kind of nice. Just got to clean them up before we start painting. The grill is being more of a pain because I'm trying to get off the old black and it's just being it's being a real pain. And it doesn't help that I got kind of the wrong sandpaper, but it's been doing the job. So I'm going to look to see if I have any actual like sandpaper and maybe it'll start working a little better. I mean, but it's not working too bad. It's just taking a really long time. I've already went through like 4 of those pads, so. So we finally finished the first piece. As you can see, it is now dark. This took way too long and way longer than I expected. But we still got, what, 5 other pieces? The big bar is really the main worry because it just takes forever to get that off. Small ones shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see. Alright, so I kind of sanded both the emblems. I wanted to do it while they were still together because it's way easier like that than all these little tiny individual pieces. I am going to sand them a little bit more once I take them apart. I'm just going to sand these once they're out because these really I mean, they're kind of small and hard to get into, but it's a lot easier than those as well. So now I'm just going to start opening them up, take a video of that. Got to get the Dremel out. It's kind of a pain also. All these little stupid plastic tabs you got to undo and pop out. So we're going to get to that and see how that goes. Hopefully better than my last set. So we're finally finished sanding everything. It's been a few hours because these little bars literally took as long as the big bars. Everything's just been such a small pain, but it's just so time consuming. So now what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be clearing out under here an old carport that we just have all tarped up for storage. So none of this is really important. So I'm removing all this, get a nice workspace going, close this up, and make a little walk space just so we can have a nice thing closed. And we got to clean all this up. I'm going to start hanging and sorting and prepping everything. And then it's time to spray some paint. Alrighty, so we have the first wave of paint. All this is going to be white. So what I got to do is just got to wipe down everything, make sure it's clean, spray some adhesive promoter, and the next thing you know, it'll be primer, and then paint, and then clear. So I laid the first, I laid the primer. Came out really nice. As you see, there's a lot of particles here, so I added a fan to try to help a little bit. The video is going to be like this. It's just going to be fuzzy with all these particles, but everything came out really nicely to start. So now it's the color. So we just laid our first layer of paint. It looked pretty much exactly like the primer. We did mess up on this a little bit, so I'm going to have to fix that. But other than that, everything's looking pretty good. There's a couple of pieces of trash here and there, but I ain't worried about that, as you can tell where I'm painting it. But everything's looking really, really nice right now. So I think I'm going to give it one more layer, then I'm going to do some clear coat. Maybe 2 more layers. It just depends how well this paint applies. Alright, so now the paint's laid, so now I just mixed up the clear coat. Now we're going to start loading some clear coat on it. After that, we just got to let it dry, and hopefully no bugs want to stick into it. That is really my fear right now, because it is becoming nighttime and we're in Florida. And we laid our final thing of clear coat. I mean, everything looks pretty good to me. I'm loving it so far. Surprisingly, not a lot of issues at all. Everything's turned up really nice. We did get one bug in that, but we fixed that already. I mean everything's looking good. It's got about 3 solid layers of clear coat, and I did like a half of just a rundown. But it looks good. I can't complain. Can't complain at all. So we're gonna move these to my actual garage to dry, so we can start putting in the next layer. All right, so I just moved all of the finished product. Now we have their second round, but this one, everything here is going to be blue. So I just did my first layer of adhesive promoter, used up the rest of the can. So we'll do 2 more of those, and then we'll get going with the blue. Laid the first set of primer. It's a black primer besides a white one this time before the blue. Everything's laying pretty good. Spring's looking really nice. I'm really liking the spring right now. But everything's looking good so far. This is the color blue we're about to be throwing down. Beautiful. So we're laying the blue. I think the paint guy thinned it a little too much because some pieces aren't the greatest and I had to restart some of them. A lot of them are pretty ugly looking, but I don't really care too much. It should look fine by the end of all the coats. I mean, but just look at it. It's a beautiful color. Absolutely beautiful. I'm almost out because I messed up the first batch because I thought something was wrong with it. So I'm trying to save it. There's a couple of blotches and whatnot, but I think it's going to end up being good. Alright, so I just sprayed the clear coat, so everything's done. Just going to let it dry. The white laid way better than the blue, but it's still beautiful, so it's really all that matters. But other than that, that's it for this, and I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to start putting stuff together. These might go in the truck tonight, depends how they dry, and if I want to put them on. So we'll see about those. But other than that, they're just going to sit and dry, and we're going to reassemble them probably in the morning when they're nice and cured. So it's the next morning, everything's nice and dry. I forgot to get JB Welder epoxy to finish everything. I have the iPad dash, the epoxy setting for the lightning cable, and I put in some of the plastic pieces last night because I'm impatient. It looked pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So once that dries out, pop that in. We'll pop the center console in. I hope I don't have to take out the two AC vents because I got impatient to put those in already. But now we're just going to start setting up or reassembling the emblems now. So they're all finished, looking good. I'm going to let these dry a little bit before I put them on. I'm going to put those on pretty soon. I got to rip off my old side badges. We'll check on the iPad dash now. But pretty much it's almost the wrap of everything. So the only thing next to do is to take the springs off and go to my buddy's house because he's got a car lift and we're going to put those on as well. But yeah, other than that, we're pretty much done.